Welcome to the Art of Andamento Level 3 Colour Theory Immersion. If you've made it here, you already have a strong foundation. You already understand Andamento, and you know that Andamento can be used to communicate pattern, movement, form, and meaning in mosaic work. Now, it's time to introduce the next layer, which is colour. And this is where things get really interesting. I find that mosaic artists are naturally good with colour. Colour may have been one of the things that drew you to mosaics in the very first place. Perhaps you can look at colour in mosaic and instinctively feel what works and what doesn't. You might not always be able to explain it, but you can sense it. So, if you are naturally good with colour, why would you need to take this course? Because instinct will only take you so far. At some point, you need to stop winging it. You need a system. You need something that you can rely on when things are not working. A structure that allows you to step back, assess, and make deliberate decisions about the use of colour in your work. Let's face it, mosaic is expensive and takes an investment of time, energy, and resources. Life is too short to make mosaics that don't work, all because the values are off. That is what Level 3 is about. It teaches you to understand the how and why of colour. I want you to move from feeling your way through colour to thinking your way through it as well. In this level, we teach you to use a colour system to map out the important dimensions of colour. And the system we use here at the Art of Andamento is the Munsell Colour System. I should clarify that there are many systems for understanding colour that are used for different industries. They are all correct, but each has a slightly different focus. I find the Munsell system is particularly useful for mosaic for several reasons. Firstly, the Munsell system is very accessible and can be broken down into understandable elements. Other systems, such as CIE, may offer a much higher degree of scientific detail, but for the most part, are not easy for students to understand. Secondly, the Munsell system teaches us to see colour as a three-dimensional space, allowing us to place colour within that colour space. And thirdly, Munsell is based on perceived colour rather than mixed colour, as painters' wheels are generally slightly simplified and based on what you can mix with tubes of paint. And that distinction matters because as mosaicists, we are not mixing pigments. We are not painters. We are placing pieces side by side and relying on the eye to do the work. We are working with perception, with optical mixing, with relationships between colours rather than physical mixtures. We are mosaicists. So, in summary, I find Munsell to be a great middle ground. It is accessible enough to understand, yet robust enough to accurately problem solve. It is a system that helps us see and understand colour relationships clearly. I want you to think about the term colour as a collective term that has three interrelating and variable dimensions. The Munsell system identifies these dimensions as hue, value, and chroma. Each can be isolated, but in practice, all work together. Dimension 1 is hue, being the colour families in the hue circle, or as most people understand it, the colour wheel. Dimension 2 is value, being a measure of lightness or darkness, commonly called the grayscale. And dimension 3 is chroma, in simple terms referring to the intensity or saturation of a colour. And while you may already have some familiarity with these ideas, in this course we separate them, we isolate them, and then we bring them back together in a way that gives you control. Each unit in this level is structured in the same way. We begin with a technical sample, where we isolate and explore one key principle. This is where you train your eye, where you start to see things a little bit more clearly and more accurately. Then we move into a more developed study, where you apply that knowledge in a resolved piece that integrates both colour and Andamento. So you are not only learning the theory, but you are putting it into practice in achievable, small, standalone exercises and studies, embedding it into your practice. Let's walk through the 4 units. In Unit 1, we focus on value. Value is the foundational element of colour. Before the other dimensions of colour can work, light and dark need to make sense. In this unit, we strip colour right back and train the eye to see value clearly, to organise light and dark, and to build form through value alone. This is where a lot of breakthroughs happen. In Unit 2, we take a single hue and explore its full range from light to dark. This is where subtlety begins to develop. You start to see how small shifts in value and chroma affect form, how surfaces turn, and along with Andamento, how colour can create volume. In Unit 3, we look at harmonious hues, hues that sit next to one another in the hue circle. And we work with a limited range of these harmonious hues, and we explore how to move through them in a range of values to build a harmonious form. You begin to realise that you don't need to add more colour, you just need better use of and relationships between the colours that you're working with. And finally, in Unit 4, we explore complementary opposite colour. Complementary colours sit opposite one another on the hue circle, and when used together, they can create vibration and visual excitement, but they can also overwhelm if not handled carefully. So in this unit, we learn how to control that relationship. Across all 4 units, what you are building is a colour strategy. You are learning how to look at your work and diagnose what is happening in the colour relationships. Is it a value issue? Is it a hue relationship? Is it a chromatic imbalance? And once you can identify the problem, you can employ the skills and techniques learnt in this level to fix it. And that is the main shift that happens in this level. You are moving from reacting to colour to directing colour in your work. And as you move forward into more complex pieces, into more resolved compositions and more ambitious projects, this understanding becomes absolutely essential. And when colour works in alignment with your Andamento, the result is magic. It is much more cohesive, much more confident, and much more powerful mosaic work. So, take your time, slow down, observe carefully, and trust the process. Because once colour clicks, it changes absolutely everything.